Chandannagar, also known as the City of Liberty. Situated along the west bank of the river Ganges, the city has been able to maintain a separate identity different from all the other cities of West Bengal. The quaint town gets its name from the shape of the bank of river Ganges, which is bent like a half moon. Thus, the name Chandannagar is derived from the words Chandannagar, meaning moon city. Chandannagar offers a charming French escapade with a distinctive Bengali twist. The fragments of this city's past have stood the test of time. The city was a former French colony of India which was established back in 1673. The city has a unique mixed culture of both France and Bengal. Thus, the city has a mixed culture which is also known as the Francophone culture. The city attracts tourists and viewers from all around the places of the world. There's a French lady who has been living here since 1988. She came here in 1988 and married a Bengali man in 1989 and has been living here since then. She watched this city grow in front of her own eyes. So come, let's see what she has got to tell us about Chandannagar.
So my name is Nilini Mandal. Originally I'm a scientist. I came in India through epidemiology. So how I came into this is that in the way of my work, I was working in Kolkata too, and I was told that a certain person by the name of Ujjwal Mandal got the funds for the restoration of the Institut Français de Chandannagore on the Strand. So I was told to meet him in Chandannagore, and I'm still here. That's it. So this is how I enrolled also in the restoration of the Institute. And through this, of course, the scientists rolled into heritage. So now I'm more known for history and heritage than for science. And as an artist, a social worker. So Chandannagore was in the past the capital of French India before Pondicherry. So that time we had the governor here, the governor of France, like Duplex. And the institute at the Strand, it was never the house of Duplex because he died long before it was built. His original house was at the border with Brod de Choix. When you go across Brod de Choix, there is one word of Chandannagore. So that is where originally the governor residence was. And Chandannagore, like the rest of district Hooghly, was much more important when all trade and transport was by using ships. All these comptoirs, not even Chandannagore, but you can say Frederiksnagar of the Danish and Chinsurah of the Dutch, Bandel, which means port of the Portuguese and all that, were much more important than at that time Kolkata. When Kolkata became more important when the railways started. Then district Hooghly became a bit of a satellite, economically speaking, and also of course the British took power enormously, partially because what Duplex had achieved with India, France itself did not understand. They allowed all the vast territories in India, which were under influence of the French, to be taken away by the British because the King of France frankly did not understand the merit. Well, what's the big deal with India? So they let it go. So this way also, you can say it changed India's history. Then of course there was the Battle of Plassey. The French were asked to side with the Indians because there was never a problem between France and India. The French said, how can we do that? They are Europeans too, so we can't fight our European brothers. We are neutral. So they were neutral. And after The Indians were defeated at Plassey. 1 year later, what the British did, they sacked Chandannagar and they bombarded it flat. Few buildings remained, like Nanda Dulal, my own house, but very, very few buildings. The rest was literally bombarded flat over 10 days. So that was the gratefulness of the British to the French for not siding with them during the Battle of Plassey. At Joraghat used to be the embarkments of passengers. There were actually 3 types of embarkments in Chandannagore. There was the trade, which also from Joraghat went to what is now Patalbari. Besides it actually was the hostel for the sailors, and Patalbari was actually a mercantile building belonging to the French. Later the Khans bought it. Same thing, the passengers, they would get into Chandannagar at Joraghat and stay at places like Wilson Hotel and all that, which is the present St. Joseph Convent. There was a hotel, and also some others. Then there was the military port, which is now Lal Dighi. Actually, the Ganges was so wide that the border of Urdi Bajar was itself the Ganges. That means if you are on Urdi Bajar Road, all on your right side, that means your east side, was water. The Ganges reached till there. Anthony Firingi, he was the salt go-down manager. He sang actually to fame in this very house. Here happened originally Anthony Firingi's story. And the house is obviously, you can see it very well, built with the help of French architects. And this is the unique characteristic of Chandannagar. All these buildings which are a mélange of architecture, Bengali and Français. While, for example, in Pondicherry, you will see the mélange of architecture is Tamil and Français. So each comptoir français has its specific architecture. And this one is a classic specimen of a very old house built completely by Indians, but the architects were French.
When you enter this house, you feel like time stands still and you are plunging into a different dimension where automatically images arise in front of you of the great history of Chandannagar. The beautiful buildings of Chandannagar are today a reminder of a chapter of Indian history when the stretch along the Hooghly River became the mini Europe in India. The people of Chandannagar hold these beautiful buildings, heritage sites and this folklorian culture very close to their heart. It's a thing they are proud of. They still are trying to preserve this mixed and unique Indo-French culture of theirs, and they are living by holding on to them.